Copyright laws and plagiarism regulations in the United States. Introduction. The copyright law of the United States defines copyright as the opportunity for the creator of a material object or an innovative idea to claim exclusive rights for the result of their work and to apply for the legislative protection of these exclusive rights. Drawing from this, the law operates with the notions of copy and copyright owner. The former is referred to as material objects, other than phonorecords, in which a work is fixed by any method now known or later developed, and from which the work can be perceived, reproduced, or otherwise communicated either directly or with the aid of a machine or device. Copyright law of the United States. The copyright owner, with respect to any one of the exclusive rights comprised in a copyright, refers to the owner of that particular right. Thus, the country's laws protect the right of the person to use their ideas or inventions and pose certain copyright restrictions. The essence of all the copyright restrictions established by the copyright law of the United States is formulated in the following statement in Section 501A of the above law. Anyone who violates any of the exclusive rights of the copyright owner as provided by Sections 106 through 122, or of the author as provided in Section 106A, or who imports copies or phonorecords into the United States in violation of Section 602, is an infringer of the copyright or right of the author as the case may be. Drawing from this, it is forbidden by U.S. law to reproduce or use in any way the copyrighted work or an idea from it without the consent obtained from the copyright owner of this work or idea, or without acknowledging the authors if the idea is used for purely scholarly purposes. The punishment for the violation of the copyright restrictions provided by the copyright law of the United States ranges from the official injunctions issued by the court eligible for hearing the copyright disputes to the criminal charges filed against the infringer of the copyright laws and regulations. Injunctions are issued by the court when the infringements of the copyright are mild, and injunctions aim to stop further infringements. The next step the court might take is to order the impounding or destruction of any disposition of the material objects created with the infringement of the copyright or using the idea whose use is also the copyright infringement. Further on, the copyright infringer might be held liable for compensation of the damages suffered by the copyright owner and for all additional benefits the infringer obtained from the infringement. Finally, criminal responsibility might be imposed on the infringer if the copyright violation happens for commercial or distributional purposes. Towson University policies on plagiarism. As contrasted to copyright laws, plagiarism regulations are characterized by milder potential responsibility for their violations. To understand how Towson University works on fighting plagiarism among its students, it is necessary to see how basic terms like student and plagiarism are defined and categorized in Towson. Thus, the term students, according to Towson University, includes all persons taking courses at the university, both full-time and part-time, pursuing undergraduate, graduate, professional, and certificate or continuing studies. This definition allows for avoiding any disputes as to the status of the person accused of plagiarizing. Plagiarism is defined as presenting work, products, ideas, words, or data of another as one's own is plagiarism. So, if copyright law restrictions are put on the use of ideas of their inventor, the plagiarism policy at Towson University considers the instances of use of those ideas without acknowledging their authors. In more detail, the Student Academic Integrity Policy of Towson University defines three major types of plagiarism for which their committers have to be punished. These types include the use of the words or statements of another author without acknowledging the latter, the use of the ideas or theories developed by other authors without acknowledging the latter even if the wording is completely changed, and the intentional use of data, statistics, or any other specific units of information without indicating the source of the latter. Compared to copyright restrictions, the plagiarism regulations are milder in the responsibility imposed for their violation but are similar in their strictness. In other words, if a copyrighted restriction is violated by a person for their commercial advantage, this person might bear criminal responsibility for the infringement. If a student at Towson University violates the plagiarism policy, the responsibility they might bear is determined by the faculty members based on the seriousness of the violation. The punishments imposed on the students that violate the student academic integrity policy of Towson University range from the need to revise the work where an instance of plagiarism was detected to the expulsion from the university. Moreover, Towson University distinguishes between course-related and non-course-related violations of plagiarism rules, and the punishments imposed depend upon the type of violation detected. Thus, if a person is guilty of a course-related violation, they might have to revise the work or obtain a reduced grade for the work or the whole course. The non-course-related violations involve failures at comprehensive exams, dismissal from academic and graduate programs, and even referral to the Office of Judicial Affairs. The repeated violations of the plagiarism policy might lead to the suspension from the university for a designated period of time, expulsion from the university, or any sanctions listed in the Code of Student Conduct or Graduate School Catalog. Conclusion. Thus, the main difference between the copyright restrictions presented by the copyright law of the United States and the plagiarism policies of Towson University is the fact that copyright restrictions forbid any use of works or ideas by others without their consent, while plagiarism rules at Towson require the students to acknowledge the fact if they use somebody else's ideas. The main similarity between the notions of copyright and plagiarism is the necessity to acknowledge the right of the inventor of a material object or an idea for the use of the latter. Accordingly, Towson University requires that its students should be prepared for real life. They should admit the rights of other people for the results of their work and be able to defend their rights in this relation.